Welcome back, listeners, to the Beyond the Row podcast, where we take Sunday's message further to reach our community by discipling one person at a time. As you can see, it is not our guy, Nick. It is our dude, Abe.
Yeah, he does it better.
Okay.
Wow.
I love how you're talking about yourself.
And Nate's back.
No.
And Nate's back.
Oh, and Nate's back.
I listened to it last week.
It's a minor detail that Nate's back, but, you know, yeah, here we are.
Eric.
Oh, no.
Thank you.
Eric is.
Thank you to our studio audience over there.
Eric is running it in Nick's absence for Nick's honor.
That's right.
Oh no, not this one. No.
He was like, "This is going to be the worst day ever."
Okay,
I won't reach over there anymore.
Eric, there's an invisible barrier now for the sake of our listeners.
There is.
Mm-hmm.
Hide and seek. Pretend I'm hiding, Bella.
Mm-hmm.
Man, all right, we're here.
We're here.
We're doing this thing. Episode 155.
Yeah.
Man. 155. Yep. You know, I wonder if our listeners have even recovered.
It should be 156.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I wonder if they've recovered from our miss when we didn't do it because of staff retreat.
Yeah, and I didn't have any time on Thursday, so I was like, not doing it.
They were like, some of our listeners, they were like, you have to do a 4-hour one to make up for it.
All right, let's do it.
And
You have to leave
I
at
can talk
30.
about that
Jonesing
one.
for the pod.
Nate
baby.
wouldn't. We're the podcast marathon runners.
Hey, just call me Joe Rogan.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness!
nice.
Except I'll do this with PG.
That's it.
Hey,
And
he's
only
working on it.
Headlocks.
He's working on it. He's working on
For sure.
being PG.
I will say I listened last week, and I thought the interesting thing was, as you guys were talking about, was this idea of like faith, and you're like wrestling with, it's hard to like, how do you know that you have faith or you're in faith, and you're like, it's really hard because you want to do, but you don't want your doing to be the thing. And I think in a nutshell, what makes it really clear is, if I'm following Jesus, faith is simply this: trust plus actions. That's what faith is. That's the example of Abraham in Genesis. Faith is simply, I trust him, therefore I will do.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but I will say, like, because you were bringing this up, is like, if I'm doing though in order to get there, then you don't trust him.
Mm-hmm.
So then that's how you know. Like, it's like if you're married. Well, I trust my wife in all things because she's my wife. And if that bond breaks, then obviously I'm going to know it. But therefore, I trust her. Therefore, I serve her. I love her. I care about her. Because I'm with her, and so I don't do things for her to hopefully to get her to one day marry me.
Well, yeah, you're not like
Because we're already married.
Yeah, you're not saying I have to do all this to get married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or to stay married.
Mm.
I am married,
Mm.
and therefore I do these things. And so I think that's the thing about faith. Faith is trust plus action. So Abraham trusted God, therefore he went. Even though he didn't know where he was going, he trusted God, and then he went, and then God showed him. And that's this idea of faith. I think that's the same thing, because you can know if you're doing this out of works.
Mhm.
I'm trying to earn God's favor. You know that because
Well, I think you know that really easily if you're concerned about how much am I doing.
yeah.
Because
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you're constantly worried about doing enough,
Yeah.
that probably is telling you, you might be doing this for the wrong motive.
For sure. Like, oh man, I haven't done enough. Well, but that's not how God sees it. He sees you as his beloved.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore you honor him and love him by your works, but because he already loves you.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're lacking or you're slacking off, it's probably because you're walking away. You're desiring not to just be with him or be in his word or spend time in prayer. If your life is pretty much like, I'm a Christian because I show up to church, I try to serve people, I give because I should have to, but you have no prayer life and you're not in his word, let me just go ahead and tell you, you're probably not a Christian. You're a religious person, but you're definitely not a Christian because, again, I'm not married to Liz because I hope that one day she'll finally accept me as her husband. So I got to do all these things so that I can keep staying married to her. That's not how that works. We're married, and therefore I serve her, she serves me.
Yeah.
Because I want to.
Yeah.
So I want to spend time with her. And even times when I don't want to spend time with her, I still want to be around her though.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And so just, you know, because it's a relationship. It
Yeah.
gets kind of gross at times. It's 6'7", you know? 6'7".
Nate,
The
it's
people who
not-
watch that got to see
Nate,
that.
it's not supposed to be the youth pastor looking at the lead pastor in that way. It's supposed to be you looking at me
True.
in that way.
And I just get to enjoy the whole thing.
And I know it's cringe, so I don't do it. That's how you know you're still young, is
Hey,
when you know it's cringe.
I know, because Marcus is 20 though, so I'm trying to be cool and awesome, you know?
Yeah, bro.
So you'd be like, man, this 41-year-old guy, he's pretty sweet.
Wait till I shave my beard for summer camp. I'll be back to young.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. My kids are just a few months away from jumping into student ministry.
I'm going to be terrorized. I'm going to be terrorized for the rest of my days. And then they don't know I'm sending high schoolers on them, though. It's going to be
Oh,
great.
that's so great. Like this is funny. This is kind of, because we're super excited. Like right now there's 16, I think at least 17. We have 17 kids signed up for CIY Superstart, 4th and 5th graders. So we were talking about just in December and January, the kids that have like checked in for 4th and 5th grade. He's got at least 25 kids coming up. Can you imagine the
yeah.
craziness of the junior high ministry?
No, we're going to have our separate night, dude, and just
Oh,
cancel.
dude, it's going to be bonkers.
Dude, these high schoolers are going to be like, what are all these brain rot kids doing in here, dude?
True.
That's the pastor's kids over there.
Roast them.
Really roast them.
Roast.
Oh, I can't wait. I know I'm going to get my, like, Nate, you need to talk to Zeke now.
I'm going to call him and be like, I'm going to put your dad on the phone. You think I won't? He's giving me permission to spank you.
You do have permission to make him. To see my
Can you imagine just be like, hey, Zeke, I need you to come up to stage.
Gosh, man.
And then like during
display.
during the spanks, we're like hitting power chords and the drums.
Oh my, dude, that would be the worst experience of his
On
entire
beat
life.
down.
He'd go from student ministries incredible to this is the worst thing of my
Oh,
entire
man.
life.
Yeah.
I think Avery's stoked. I even think the high schoolers would kind of want to hang with Avery, just because she's like that. She likes to hang out with those older than her, and so I could see that. But Z, all the high school boys would be like, "Get this kid away from me."
Dude, at summer camp last year, like, and I know that the incoming class won't be able to be there this year, but like next year when they are,
Yeah.
dude, I'm telling you what, those high schoolers, if those kids are being crazy, those high schoolers are going to be so upset with them.
Oh, that's so great! I can't wait.
It's going to
You
be
have
something.
so many coming up over the next 2 years. Hopefully, we get more. But
It's going to be something. I'll tell you that.
dude, student ministry is exploding,
Mm-hmm.
which is great.
Marcus says it's because of him.
No, I did not say
He did
that.
say that. He
Yeah,
did.
that's
It's a
probably
joke.
true.
He's like,
I
oh, it's because I'm there
I
now.
said,
Right,
I
true.
said they're gonna keep coming because they like me.
They have a
They're
cool
like,
worship
"Yeah."
leader now.
And then I said, oh, we have an ISO-centric ministry. Great. It's built
Yeah.
off one guy. That's awesome.
It's funny.
I know. Welcome.
Celebrity.
Celebrity. Yeah.
Celebrity.
Hey, where's your Instagram followers, bro? You need to get those up.
My Instagram followers. That's true. I do. I need to get those up.
Yeah, I know. I need to get mine up.
Oh,
We need to make me and Connor need to make more TikToks and Kale.
No. Oh, no.
Yeah, we just all need to make as many TikToks as
You
possible.
just need to stream your Fortnite playing.
Yeah, we need to stream Fortnite.
There you go.
Stream ASM night.
Oh, man.
Play.
Dude, that
Make
could be incredible.
TikToks.
Yeah, it's so true.
I'm going to be that youth pastor that shares all of my preaching on my own personal page and tags the student ministry page in it so everyone can see.
And put a fee if like a different youth pastor wants to use your stuff, they can buy it
You
off.
totally
you
should.
Oh, my goodness.
for $150 a month.
That's so
It's a
bad.
Subscription.
Subscription fee.
Yeah.
Subscriptions. Hey, use my content. $150 a month.
Yeah,
Jeez.
plus taxes.
All
We're at
right.
church.
Goodness. We're not doing that. Don't worry, y'all.
I would say, like, I did listen to it last week. It was fun. I was like, man, Bill or I wasn't there, and you guys went after it. I was like, good job.
Nick talked way more
I noticed.
with you guys absent. I always feel like Nick always like pulls up his britches a little bit. He's like, all right, the dogs aren't here.
I got
It's
it.
my turn.
I got it. Yeah, it was cool. I mean, last week, I'm glad you guys did it. Well, last week I had a great time learning and growing. I will say, I told the staff today, but it's one of those moments you just feel like I don't really deserve to be in this spot, but I truly did enjoy talking about Avenue and what we're doing as a whole and how hard it is. I mean, the amount of people who have sacrificed on staff and volunteers and leaders at Avenue to help make Avenue what it is and what it's still becoming is beyond impressive. The amount of people that just do ministry without being paid, and also, just the reality of a lower income. And again, it's just a constant reminder of how much, that God is in control and that He's moving in the lives of people. And I think that encourages me. And we got to talk more about like how you can do this on a tighter budget, but it's the amount of sacrifice and I think relational building and the investment into people's lives that are willing to say, yeah, absolutely, I'm willing to do this because it's a bigger cause, a greater cause. And so I got to talk about Avenue a lot. I asked a lot of questions because again, there weren't a lot of people. It was just like we were just inside of a room, and it was just like a big square table set up, and our spouses were with us is what made it bigger. But if our spouses weren't there, it'd be like 15 pastors. And like, well, what books are you reading right now? What was challenging for you this year? What do you want God to do? And what are you hoping for God to do? What was something that we should all be reading or thinking about? Like it was one of those opportunities. So it wasn't like there was no speaker. There's nobody saying, here's what we're doing. You should implement this. It was more of here's what we're all doing. Here's all the messes that we have. Here's where we've seen God do some miracles in the church, and we've grabbed a hold of this and ran with it. And, here's the expectation. And I got to talk more about, like, I think the future of ministry is doing what Avenue's doing. It'll look different in different places, but it's the whole merger and revitalization efforts I think we're going to have to start seeing more and more of. And so it was a great week. Wish the weather was nicer.
Mm-hmm.
You poor baby.
Yeah, Eric was talking about like this, which is crazy, like the amount of snow and ice in the Carolinas that happen. And I was like, I know, man. It's only 58 down here.
Dude, I walked
sand out of my shoes.
I walked outside today, and my car wasn't frosted over completely.
I
was like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
Yeah.
It's like 50 degrees. I'm like, thank goodness.
For sure.
Melt, baby, melt.
Won't he do it? Come on.
Jeez, I know I threw a snowball at your car because the snow is melting and packy. So I threw it at your car out there and Bill's.
Why didn't you throw it at your junker?
True.
Dang, bro. Hey, it does have metal shavings coming off. I think when I'm driving, I hear it.
It spits oil everywhere it goes.
In the engine compartment, but we're rocking it, dude. We are rock, dude. Listen, just turn the music up a little louder. We're all good, dog.
That's right.
She still cranks up, still drives for me.
The reason our parking lot on the staff side is good because we get new oil every day from Abe's car.
Oh, man.
Everybody asks if you drive a diesel. It's not a diesel.
Dude, it's so, oh my goodness. We passed a, never mind. Hold up. Never mind. Anyway, no.
Squirrel.
Anyways, it was funny. We were talking about cars, and we passed a old Toyota on the way here that I might go look at. I know, we forgot. Anyway, it's all good. We were having lunch, and we saw some guys from Westwood Alliance. Some of the pastors at Westwood were there.
Oh, wow.
At lunch, we
did you talk about free will and how That's the way to go.
No, but we said, hey, nice to see you. And
They're like, we were predestined to see you.
I guess they didn't hear us because they just left. And I was like, all right, cool. Talk about it later.
Yeah, they said something to us. One of the guys said something to us, and then Nick said, "How are you?" And then he's like, "Good talking with you." And it's like they walked out.
Nick was like, all right.
It was funny. I don't think
Nick
they were.
gonna say, okay,
They don't
see
have to
ya.
be nice because it's reformed. It doesn't matter anyways.
Oh my goodness.
Silly.
Anyway, I'm not talking any smack about them, just so we're clear. I like my friends at Westwood.
Right.
Don't hear any bad stuff from us.
Let's
like-
go Westwood.
Oh, jeez.
It's like
I
they-
thought what about the wall?
It's
like the ice wall that's not there.
But I'm an X-Man.
It's like the ice wall. Ice wall's not there. It's just
Well, Eric either chose to click that button by his free will, or
he
was
was
predestined to
push
click
that
it. So
button.
either way, it's not his
yeah,
fault.
yeah, it's true. Well, or if it was sin, the only thing you can't be predestined to do is sin.
That's true. You do have free will to do
Right.
sin. That's
You're
one thing.
predestined to do everything except sin. Yeah.
So was that
What was this?
So that was probably sin.
Perfect.
That's it.
Wow, this is something. Anyway, yeah.
So I guess we could talk about the sixth church of our series.
Okay, can we just really quick, Marcus, for our podcast listeners, we were. Well, no, you heard about it because you weren't in there. Obviously, you were in Ashland.
What?
But somebody told you about Nate saying 6 or 7.
Yeah,
in the sermon.
I was told by an anonymous
In the
source.
sermon?
Yeah, because you were saying we were on our 6th church going into our
Yeah.
7th church. And you were like, yeah, our 6th church and 7th church. And you said that a few
Oh.
different times.
I was told by an anonymous source that it was dropped probably 4 or 5 times during service, and you didn't even know.
Yeah, you
I
weren't
didn't
even
have a
doing,
clue.
You weren't even saying it to be funny. And
And-
of course,
yeah.
some of our
I was told that the high
Younger
schoolers were struggling
students.
to
Of
stay composed.
Well, then Abe also said that a number of think that I said P. Diddy.
Yes, bro,
Yeah.
you did. They were all convinced that you said something about P. Diddy music or something, and they were all like, what? And so they pulled up, a couple of them pulled up on him after service. Were like, yo, did you say something about P. Diddy?
He's like, we're trying to decide. You said P. Diddy, didn't you? I'm like,
They don't even know who P. Diddy
I know.
is. Like,
They know about his baby oil, dude.
They just know
That's
about
all
that.
they know.
oh, okay.
That's what they were talking about.
they don't know nothing about
okay. I was like, you
the
don't-
music.
That's why they were like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Why is he talking about P. Diddy?
I definitely did not say P. Diddy on purpose.
That's right.
Anyway, well, that's the thing. I just have to be careful with those things because they'll take anything and run a mile with it.
Jiminy Christmas.
So if you take
You
it,
guys need to get your high schoolers in check, all right?
It's 8 high schoolers.
we're trying, dude. And
That's
they have small group leaders, bro. I put the blame on them.
Gosh.
Wow.
I'm not the direct
Hey,
discipler.
speaking of that,
Well-
Abe gave me the opportunity to bring the house down on February 22nd.
February 22nd, it's unnamed ASM party night because Nate's going to be there. So
gonna be-
you know it's going to be
I'm
lit.
bringing the gospel.
Oh,
That's
it's
We're gonna
gonna
be bringing Cheetos.
We're trying to hit 100. So bring all your
Toothpaste.
friends.
Man, we're gonna do some crazy
we're
stuff.
trying to.
When the
Chubby Bunny.
toothpaste is out of the
Chubby-
tube, it can't go
Chubby
back
Bunny
in.
2026.
Chubby Buddy 2026. You know what? I want to bring some Happy Meals. We're gonna throw it in a blender.
Yep, chicken nugget eating
I'm
contest.
telling you what, if any of this stuff happens, I'm going to the elders.
It needs to be a blindfold Chick-fil-A sauce test.
Winner gets a
sauce.
I would
gift,
win
winner
that
gets a gift card.
instantaneously.
You could smell it. I think you could smell it through the plastic and you knew what it was.
Dude, I just like tap the plastic. I'm like, oh, this
Oh, yeah,
Polynesian. Wait,
that's
Without a
hold
doubt,
up.
this is honey mustard.
hold up. Oh,
Which is the same thing as Chick-fil-A
hold up.
sauce.
This is actually honey roasted barbecue.
Did you hear me? Did you hear me, Abe?
No, Abe wasn't listening
Oh,
to
no.
you at all.
He said, "Oh, hold up, it's honey mustard," and I said, "Well, that's the same
You
thing."
gotta stop, bro. It's not. Chick-fil-A sauce is honey mustard ranch and barbecue. Perfect combination and mixture. Consistent every time.
That
Unlike
being said-
garbage cane sauce.
This has been brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Just kidding. That's not.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
All right. We kind of delayed our
Hey,
deranged
you're supposed to be
intro.
Nick. What are you doing?
I don't know. We delayed it. We kind of went serious right off the bat, and then we went to
I was just going to talk about last
Goofy.
week.
and then we are now here.
True.
We've
I'm
now
just
arrived.
saying-
You know, you had an opportunity
Yeah.
on Sunday as well.
What?
You said something about we don't know much about Philadelphia. And I
Mm-hmm.
was going to say, since it's Super Bowl Sunday, you should have said, well, we definitely know they're not in the Super Bowl.
Wow,
You could have said that. I was thinking that.
That'd
when
have been
you-
so funny.
I was thinking that when you
more you know.
had a perfect opportunity.
Listen, dude, I'm not cool like that. Okay?
I just wish you had a perfect opportunity. I was like, oh my gosh.
We should have totally did the Fresh Prince theme song too.
I I don't think about any of those moments.
Dude, got to make it relatable for the people.
You mean the high schoolers?
No.
Hey, just letting you know, everybody, make sure your teenagers are there. Teenagers, make sure you're there. February 22nd. Let's pack the house so we can show Abe that.
Yeah, this coming Sunday,
He
February
doesn't
15th.
even know what he's preaching about.
February 15th doesn't really matter, but February 22nd.
I'm gonna have him.
That's right.
I'm gonna have him preach about sex.
Just make sure moms and dads know.
Marcus said, if you were going to take a break, 15th sounds good.
Yeah.
Come back ready to swing on 22nd.
Right.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Sumo suits, so much fun.
Oh,
stuff's
dude.
happening. Can't wait.
Dude, let's do that.
No.
Sumo night.
Oh my. Sumo wrestling night.
I don't know
What
which
is
one
happening? That's correct. That's the right one. That's the right one. Wow.
I was wanting the one to be like, oh yeah.
Dude, how far into this are we?
I don't even know. We're far.
Marcus is like, what's happening?
We're probably about 15, 20 minutes.
These
Yeah.
boomers are taking over.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, it's going to be good. Yep.
So Philadelphia,
Philadelphia.
Pennsylvania.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. My home state, by the way.
Oh,
Pennsylvania.
you know, speaking of that, I met a guy that was there this past week. I think his church is around 500 or so people, and he's in, I think it's Meadville,
Oh, yeah, Meadville. Yep.
just south of Erie.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was cool.
There's a few big churches in Meadville. I'm thinking of one, but I think it's way more than 500, so it's probably not.
Oh, and maybe.
Not the same one.
I looked at that community. It's not even a big community.
Meadville?
Yeah.
I think it's like 30, 40,000. Is it not?
It's like half the size of Mansfield.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, Mansfield's like 60,000. Richland County's big.
Meadville's probably like 25, 30 maybe.
Pretty sure Mansfield's like 60.
That's still small. That's like Ashland.
It's pretty small, but it's like Erie, a little bit of
That's
highway,
small.
Meadville, a little bit of highway, Pittsburgh.
Bro,
Yeah,
my
that's
church
right.
was
Yeah,
my
that's right.
church growing up was outside of a town of 300.
12,347.
Meadville?
Wow.
Dang, that's small.
That must be just like the town.
Well, they have,
Maybe
there's
like-
two towns together, right? Meadville?
I don't think so. It might be.
Weren't we talking about the population of the town?
That's what I thought.
But we were talking about Pennsylvania. Yeah, and Fredericksburg.
Y'all,
Oh, Fredericksburg.
county
Yeah.
and city are different.
Yeah, Fredericksburg's tiny though.
Yeah, Fredericksburg, Meadville, and
Who,
But
they're all
look,
who are we
connected.
asking?
But
We're
like,
asking our
the
20-year-old.
Meadville territory is just like that. If you count the area around, I bet it's a lot
Yeah,
more people.
Yeah, that makes sense. That looks like kind of like a Mansfield, Ontario thing.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Pennsylvania, that's cool. But Philadelphia, you ever been there?
West Philadelphia, born and raised. Yeah, I've been to Philadelphia.
It's awesome.
Have you?
Yeah,
City of
couple
brotherly
times.
love.
Couple times.
Yeah. Are you an Eagles guy?
No.
You're a Steelers guy.
Yes.
If the Eagles were in the Super Bowl, would you root for them though?
Yes, because it's Pennsylvania.
Oh, loser.
I'm not a hater. The only team I don't like is the Browns.
Believe me, I'm a big old,
This
I'm
guy,
from
bro.
Indiana, big old Purdue guy. I'll root for Notre Dame any day and all day. But as soon as Indiana does well in anything, I root against them hardcore, dog.
Yeah, so you were
So
upset.
you're saying the national championship game, you were totally.
Man, you know what's so frustrating about that game? I was beyond frustrated because I'm sitting here thinking
They didn't even look that good, bro.
I
I'm not gonna
always
lie.
want the Big Ten to win. I'm a Big Ten guy no matter what. So I want Big Ten to win. It was so hard to root for Indiana, but I needed Big Ten to win. It was almost one of those where I wish they could both lose. And then we had no national champion this year, and I've been okay.
I get it.
It's because you're a Purdue guy.
There's an earthquake, swallowed them up. Oh,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we'll just have to worry about next year.
No bummer.
Hey, Ohio State's only losses were to national championship teams.
Oh, please.
Just saying.
Whatever, bro.
True. Oh, wait, who'd Penn State lose to? Oh, the list is too long to talk
I'm
about
not a
on this
Penn
podcast.
State fan, bro. You keep
I know.
using that against me like
I
I'm
know.
You're not a
Penn
college
State.
fan at all, are you?
Not really.
It's
Yeah.
just because if I lived in
probably a
Pennsylvania, I
Penn-
wouldn't be a college
He's probably
fan
a
either.
University of Pennsylvania fan.
Good.
Oh,
gosh.
UPenn.
Isn't that?
Or Villanova. Are you
Villanova's fire. So is Temple. They're
Yeah,
both
Temple.
in
For
CC.
basketball.
Penn CC is where you're at,
Yeah,
right?
Penn CC. That's right.
Penn Community College.
Yeah, community college.
I was trying to think of the other one that was in Pittsburgh. It's kind of a weird name.
Pitt.
No, not Pitt.
Oh, you're thinking about
Das-
Duquesne.
Duquesne.
Yeah.
However you say that stinking
Yeah,
college
it's
name.
spelled Duquesne, but
Yeah.
it's Duquesne.
Duquesne.
Never heard of that?
That's got to be
All right.
French.
You only know that. Hey, we're talking about Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Good state.
So Philadelphia. All right, let's talk about this. I think there's some really good things. I wanted to highlight two major verses that I thought would be good for conversation as followers of Jesus in the midst of the whole scheme of Revelation 2 and 3, kind of like the overall thought of the seven churches, right? Because he doesn't care about how big you are. He doesn't care about how cool you are. Doesn't care about in a sense of like all the things you do. It's more of the, I want you to be faithful to me. You know, when you're faithful to me, cool things happen. Even if it does cost your life, cool things still happen, right? So in Revelation 3:10, this is the kind of the middle part of the letter for this church. He says, because you have obeyed my command to persevere, I will protect you from the great time of testing that will come upon the whole world to test those who belong to this world, which is, we'll kind of address that too in the next verse here in a second. But let's talk about this first part, obeyed my command to persevere. What does that mean? And because one of those, like he's writing it to the church of Philadelphia, although all seven churches are going to read this. So therefore, that's a big deal that all seven churches are going to read this. And the church in general is going to read this. So why is this important for us as the church and Christians to understand that you have obeyed my command to persevere, and therefore I want to protect you against da-da-da-da. So why is that important? Like, why do we need to know this idea of obeyed my command to persevere? Why is it important for us? What does that even mean? What command is he talking about? And then persevering.
Mm-hmm.
I think at face value, it's just important that like we're called to stay connected to the vine, and we are called, like we have an initial moment of justification where we choose the Lord, but then it's a process, right? Like we come from the Wesleyan movement. So this idea of perseverance is staying connected to the tree of life.
So you're saying that the people at Westwood are wrong? If people on the video can see Abe's,
They can.
Well,
I know that's what. So everybody who's listening,
If you're on YouTube or Spotify, you just see the reactions because you're seeing the video.
it's a process. It's sanctification, right? We're called to remain connected to the vine. And
I mean, I'm there. I don't want to say too much.
Good. I mean, I love
It's okay to disagree. It doesn't mean we think people are garbage.
Yeah.
This is true.
I'm just making sure people don't hear us and think we're just out here like roasting people.
it's just banter.
Yeah. We all agree that we need Christ to be saved for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. I think the whole point of obedience is like you've obeyed my command to persevere.
Mm.
I mean, I think the whole point is we're being reminded of almost like what is perseverance? Perseverance is continuing to obey.
Mm-hmm.
And in the midst of obeying, we are persevering. So it's like by consistently and continually doing what he has made clear and made known to us.
Yeah.
I think that's the goal, is what's being made plain is what we are remaining faithful to. The thing that's plain is the thing that shall remain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's this verse in general is huge in foreshadowing, and then obviously saying, because you have obeyed my command to persevere. So they already have persevered. Then it says, I will protect you from the great time of testing that will come upon the world, the whole world, to test those who belong to Jesus, to this world. So we talked about it at lunch today. Obedience is the greatest form of worship, period. Just being obedient to what Jesus said, following in those footsteps, doing what he says. And so when we're like, all right, Jesus, no matter what the cost is, we're going to follow you regardless of the sacrifices that may come, regardless of the trials that may come, regardless of whatever, we're going to continue. And I think that's the thing here. It's like, because God trusts them, because they've already done it before. It's like, hey, so because you've obeyed that command before to persevere, I'm going to protect you from the great time of testing that's going to come upon the whole world.
Yeah.
To test those who belong to this world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like, hey, you did it before, and it's because you obeyed me.
Yeah, and they were also weak too, right? This talks about that in the very beginning of that letter. He's like, because you're weak, but you kept going.
Mm-hmm.
Because you, I think, you obeyed my word And and you didn't deny me. You
Yeah.
obeyed my word and you didn't deny me.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, like what is he referencing as weakness? Because I think that's the interesting thing of it is we read it as weakness, but then we're wondering like, oh, I mean weakness in the sense of not weak in following him, but weak as in there could be a when you think of like your own ability, your own like on paper, they were weak.
You'd be tired.
But then they were
ringer.
faithful in the midst of it. Or, it's almost like, I don't know, you get in like David and Goliath, right? On paper, David is weak, he's wimpy, he's nothing, but his faith and his continued trust in Christ, well, in Yahweh, was sitting him on a place of being able to persevere. Not because of his own, but because he was faithful to what he was being asked to do.
Yeah, I think so. I want to dig deeper in that to like today, because like the question I wanted to raise up is, if following Jesus cost you something, would you still follow him? I think we say yes, right? Like everybody's like, yeah. I mean, if Jesus did it, I'd follow him. Okay. Scenario. It is now illegal to be a Christian in the United States, right? We get people in office and they overcome the Second Amendment or the First Amendment. And you have to choose between following Jesus and putting food on the table. Because everybody else, they'll be able to go to the grocery stores and things like that. They keep your job, making money, da-da-da-da. Christians, sorry, dog. You got to, because that's hate speech. It's hatred towards others. You write the Super Bowl. Everybody's like, oh, the Super Bowl was really great. The halftime show was awesome. And I was actually trying to help my kids to understand that they, like, the biggest thing that was shared in that moment was love is stronger than hate. That was the theme, love stronger than hate. And I was like, I was telling my kids, does that sound good? They're like, absolutely. I said, well, how do you think they defined love there? Because love is stronger than hate. So, and we're like, I don't know, love, we're to love all people, right? I'm like, that's true. But they're referring to this idea of inclusivity. Yeah. And you're truly not you're truly not loving somebody by disagreeing with them by their lifestyle, because that's called hate. So cultural standards of love are definitely not biblical standards of love. Yeah. So I would argue the halftime show wasn't great because although you're singing in Spanish, the lyrics of those songs are horrible. And then this idea of inclusivity, which we're seeing in the Olympics right now with the Americans, not all of them, but some of them. And so now you're living in a society where you are the outcast of society, and anything that you say when it comes to saying, just by simply saying I'm a Christian, means that you're a person of hatred. Do you stick with him? Do you follow him, knowing that you're going to struggle physically and mentally, and you have children, and you want to make sure that they are taken care of? But you got to make a decision. Yeah. What do you do? Like, I want to get at the heart of how, if Jesus cost you something, if following Jesus cost you something, would you still follow him? If Jesus cost you the health and stability of your children, will you follow Jesus?
I think sometimes you put that to a threshold, right? It's almost like, well, how serious does it get?
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah, so like if you were to tell me like, okay, you can't have groceries, well, whatever, I already hunt, so we're gonna eat.
Yeah,
we're gonna eat regardless. But if it was like, oh no, am I still gonna share my faith? Am I still gonna do this on Sunday? Are we still gonna meet? Are we still gonna? And then you got to ask yourself, really, this is different for those of us who are sold out to the Lord. You know what I mean? He's not just a hobby that we do on the weekend to make ourselves feel better. Yeah. But at the same time, I think it's like, I think we just talked about this a couple weeks ago, like the percentage of Christians that share their faith.
Yeah.
And how low that is already.
Horribly low.
Like, so let alone, I guarantee you that number's getting cut in half if it comes to like, hey, are you still going to meet? Are you still going to do? Are we still going to do our A groups this night? Are we going? And where are we going to meet? Whatever that looks like. I think a lot of that comes down to almost just like you'd watch that percentage fall when it got more dire. So like, okay, you can't get groceries if you profess to be Christian. Okay, well now you can't have air conditioning in the summer and heat in the winter if you profess to be a Christian. Now your transportation's gone if you get caught driving. So it's almost like
basically take all of liberty or rights or anything away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is you can say this to whatever you want to say, Marcus, but I'll say, like, you were like, well, that's just a little crazy. But it's not. It's happening right now.
There's people who literally experience that.
Like during COVID, just one of the stories that came out of COVID of Christianity around the world, in India, when they were giving food out to all their people because people were struggling because of COVID, shutting things down and not being able to move, things like that, Christians, they ostracized the Christians by not giving them food.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this is reality. And so you're like, well, that's India somewhere away. Okay. But that doesn't mean it's not here. Canada started doing some crazy things. Some of our states are doing some crazy things out west now. Yep. So, like, we're not far off, Marcus.
Yeah, I don't know. It just makes me think, like, it all comes down to how you view Christ's second coming and how that's going to look on the new earth and how we're going to be taken there and just the whole end times thing. Because, like, it makes me think of, I hear people all the time, especially girls my age, but also me, like, I've been guilty of this too. They're like, oh, I'm a Christian, I love Jesus, but I just really, really hope that he doesn't come back before I can have a kid. Or I just really, really hope he doesn't come back before I get to be married and experience that.
Yeah.
And I've always had that feeling, and I've had the same thoughts.
Oh, I have too.
Like, Jesus, I love you, but please let me marry who I'm with. I want to spend time with her. Like, please let me have experience leading worship. I enjoy singing. I enjoy the feeling of people responding to the praise I've brought to you.
Yeah.
And then you can even connect that to like what you were saying. It's like, but the people who are leading churches who are worshiping you under persecution in China, the people who are doing that in India, the people who are doing that in all of the things in Eurasia, they would want Jesus to come back right now.
Oh, 100%.
It would save them from so much death. It would save them from so much hatred,
Africa.
So much pain. And it's just, these are different perspectives. We are in such a privileged land.
We are.
Where I'm saying, man, God, please don't come back because I want to get married. They're saying, God, please come back because I don't want to die.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the reality. I mean, I know this is crazy. I think we talked about it on the podcast. Maybe we didn't. But like Liz and I, we've already had conversations with our kids at 11. Probably, I think we did at 9, 10, or 11. I want to say it was 9. That there could be a day, that dad could end up in jail or that dad could be shot. And of course, if you know my daughter, she just starts crying. I don't want that to happen to you. I'm like, I know. I don't want that to happen either. Mm. But we've already had to address with them the reality of what could happen. Yeah. And that's okay. But we were saying that's okay because it's all for him anyways. It's all for Jesus anyways. And we want you to know, as you get older, we want you to understand why you follow Jesus more and more and understand the historicity of Christianity and understand the resurrection. And so, like, we work really hard to make sure, like, and I know most parents don't get into this reality, and I think it's just because maybe it's the reality of maybe the calling in my life, and that's why I'm in the position I am. I don't know why. I shouldn't be. But it's just real. And I want to make sure the most important things that I could leave my children is Jesus. Mm. Because I mean, Liz and I were talking about, like, we could do this with our kids. We could do this with our kids. And I know what we were talking about. It was last week, and we were talking about goals. And she goes, Nate, do you have any goals for our family? And I really struggled because, I think a lot of times we think about all the goals that we could have in the world and the things, like, well, I'd like to go on a vacation here, or I'd like to go do this trip, and I said, honey, I really don't. The only goal that I have is to make sure you, Avery, and Ezekiel know Jesus. Like, that's my only goal. Like everything else is like icing on the cake. It's just, that's it. Like there's nothing else I want is other than like my family to know Jesus. Yeah. And then we started joking about this because we're like, can you like think about this? My parents, we were like, I don't know what Lisa and Scott Holtz did to get lucky, but they can actually say that their only two sons that they have both know Jesus. Like that's, and like, I wish you could know my family's past. It is brutal, the background that I have, especially my mom and my dad. They come from very, very broken families. And at the end of the day, they both, by God's mercy, have two children, and those two children both know Jesus. Scott and Lisa Holtz can tell the world that my two kids know Jesus. And so, which is so great. But I hope one day I can be like, and I believe that now, but that Nate and Liz Holtz, both of their kids know Jesus. Like, there's nothing greater in this world. I care less about anything they ever get, an award or whatever. I mean, I'll celebrate that and love, but that's not my goal.
Right.
Because, I mean, you've all gotten trophies, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Those trophies either no longer exist, are in the dump, or in a box collecting dust.
It's funny. One of our staff members' kids is a highly decorated former collegiate athlete, and our student ministry just got donated some of his old trophies because they were just sitting collecting dust, have no value. Yeah. And so like we got donated some of them just to use as like prizes or props or anything like that. So it just made me think of something like that where it's like that stuff is just so, it's just so temporary.
Yeah,
and it's just stuff that's like, man, it's really not worth.
Yeah. Is it fun to watch them get an award, things like that? For sure. But if I make that their highest priority is to get an award that eventually will no longer matter anything to them,
right?
Then I have failed. If my highest priority is to get them straight A's in school, then I have failed. If my highest priority is to get them to be popular or be successful in a sport or an activity, and they don't know Jesus, period, I have failed as a parent. And that's why, like, if following Jesus costs you something, would you still follow him? I think that's, again, they're like, well, it's kind of, it's getting crazy. Like, it is really getting crazy in our culture. And because I am conservative in my politics, but my conservative politics are a reflection of my faith. Mm-hmm. It isn't my faith. Yeah. I am going to vote my faith. However, politics aren't going to save what I stand for. Yeah. Jesus is going to save what I stand for because he is the what do I want to say? He is the definition of what I stand for. He is the thing I fight for in our culture. And so, yes, it happens to represent more times than not one side of the political aisle. However, there are many people in that political aisle that need Jesus desperately. Yeah. And they also stand for things that I don't agree with. But my faith reflects my politics reflect my faith. It's not the other way around. Yeah. And so there's still going to be a day that potentially could be a day that the government that I have to serve under, no matter what, no matter who they are, my faith still has to be a priority. I still have to represent, like you brought up ICE, like the biggest, and what kills me about this whole thing is that we've had ICE for years, even under other presidents. Why aren't we throwing a fit then? Because they're not doing anything different than they've done for years. It just is more of a highlight because the other side of the political aisle doesn't like the current president, and it's just exploded. The current president is an idiot. When it comes to things like that. So it's becoming so much more than what it should be. But even then, I do stand behind my government that you should be here legally, just like any country in the world. Yeah. And at the same time, as a follower of Jesus, I also have to love and take care of the stranger. So you're like, well, which one do you do? Both. Like both things can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to pick different sides. And it's like, no, my side is the side of Christ. I have to take care of the stranger, and I have to follow the rules of my government.
Yeah.
If I'm in England, I still have to follow the rules of my government if I'm an English person. And at the same time, take care of the stranger. Like do both at the same time. And it's like, that's really a hard concept for a lot of people to think through. And I don't understand why, because what my faith depicts everything that I do. So when it's going to get harder, I think the notion of that question, if following Jesus costs you something, I already have to pre-decide in my mind that when life does get harder and harder, here's what I'm going to have to do. And so I don't just get up into the moment like, oh, I didn't see this coming. Well, shoot, what am I going to do? Well, I'm following Jesus.
Yeah, period.
Yeah.
When you were talking about like, that I couldn't figure out that verse, so I had to Google it. And even what you're saying now, like think about how hard it is even just to share your faith to people who are so adamantly against you as a Christian. So like even the little persecution that you can have, whether it's your atheist friends, your agnostic friends, or you're just lazy friends who don't even have a label to it. They're just like, I don't know, there's something.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's that 1 Corinthians 9 when it says, when I'm with those who are weak, I share their weakness, for I want to bring the weak to Christ. Yes, I try to find common ground with everyone, doing everything I can to save some.
Yeah,
I do
that's
everything,
so good.
I do everything to spread the good news and share in its blessings. Don't you realize that in a race, everyone runs, but only one person gets the prize? So run to win. All athletes are disciplined in their training. They do it to win a prize that will fade away, the trophies, all the other things we were just talking about. But we do it for an eternal prize. And this goes right back to the verse we're talking about of persevering through all of that, persevering through the sweat, persevering through the thirst, persevering through your feet hurting, the running, the walking, the speed walking, the dragging your feet behind you, using your hands and knees to get around. So I run with purpose in every step. I'm not just shadow boxing. And I love that visual. I discipline my body like an athlete, training it to do what it should. Otherwise, I fear that after preaching to others, I myself might be disqualified. And that's big in and of itself, because then we at this table have to turn around and say, man, okay, not only am I saying what the Bible says, but am I living this out?
Yeah.
So much so. I know the Bible says that we're judged doubly for what we do, because we're literally preaching the gospel to people. And as you guys know, it's like you're not going to listen to a basketball coach who can't make a free throw.
Yeah.
You're not going to, that's why there's 17 different football coaches. If you got a line coach that can't guard anybody, well, you're not going to listen to him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's almost like, I think persevering is so much easier when you watch a brother or sister do it. That's why the body of Christ is so powerful. By we're still in Revelations, but with this verse, but they overcame by the blood of the Lamb and the power of their testimony. So let's just say, Nate, it's me, Nate, Marcus, and Abe, and we're all in a line for food. And they ask us all the same exact question. Well, if they ask Marcus and they say, if you're a Christian, you can't have food, we'll turn you away. But then Nate's next in line. He might be like, oh man, well, if Marcus can do it and be faithful, I can do it and have perseverance. Then Abe's next. And I say, man, that's 3 other men of God who God is asking them to persevere, and they're doing it. So that it makes it every other person, it makes it easier. You know what I mean? So I think that's what we talked about. We talked about that at lunch too. Is like, man, I wish there was just more red letters, even like just to see like the side conversations that Jesus had, like the over. Well, I mean, it's Middle East, so over falafel and hummus.
Yeah.
And I think that like I love that he's talking to the church of Philadelphia. So this is a body of believers that have built their foundation walking alongside of each other, that I guarantee you there were mothers and fathers and children going through this, but they saw other children, other mothers, other fathers that were prime examples of how to persevere, and it made it that much easier. Mm-hmm. And
and they live in such a way that all these 6 other churches are like, man, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
They're doing it.
We talk about like, you're the bride being judged, and how cool. I used to live my life this way. I used to always say, every day I wake up, I have a chance to fail God. And so I need to choose to not. And we've even talked about this is a way that God renewed my mind. So instead of waking up thinking that something I'm doing or striving for, well, I will never meet up to that standard, I had to come to that conclusion that, no, Eric, like every day you wake up, you have an opportunity to please God, not to fail him. So the things that I choose, I realize that I'm not striving for an impossible thing. What it is like, okay, every day is a new day with new mercies and new grace. And I get to walk in that. And I get to see Christian brothers and sisters walk in that help me persevere in a totally different way. So you're not almost like operating out of fear. You're operating out of promise. And that's, I firmly believe that they've already walked through that when you read that. And he says, because you have obeyed my command to persevere. And I love it too. He's not like, you will be protected. No, he says, I will protect you. Like, that's nuts. Like, to read that letter from where we're at is already huge, but imagine you get that, and you're that church, and then you got other, like you said, the other 6 churches that are just like, oh my word, we gotta put our bootstraps on. This is nuts. We've got so much more like to achieve, to not strive for, but like literally you have an example to follow after. Yeah, and that's huge, and that should fire us all up to realize that like, it's all for eternity, right? Like, that's it. Like, we're all supposed to live our lives in light of eternity, even if that means dying the best death. Yeah. So,
I definitely think it's an encouragement, because the 7 churches. I mean, if you're the 5 churches and you read about Smyrna and Philadelphia, you're like, okay, they're going through it, and yet they're being faithful. And then you read about us. It's like, okay. And so I think you really get to learn from others' failures and successes. And I think it's constantly just trying to encourage one another, and then at the same time, challenge each other. Yeah. Because our goal is for everybody to come to know Christ, and for everybody who knows Christ to live in such a way that he's proud of us. And that's ultimately the Holy Spirit, that's why I think this next part real quick is Christianity is not adding Jesus to your life. It's surrendering your life to Jesus. And so can you guys explain, like, why is this an important distinction? Because I think if we're honest, at least, I mean, maybe for our age a little bit more than you two, but we were really in the height of that seeker-sensitive movement of the church in the West in the United States. And it really is trying to, like, man, we just want to be cool enough so we can get you to pray a prayer, and that's kind of it. But really what we were doing there is we're saying, like, you can still kind of, like, you need to accept Christ as your life. We do believe the Holy Spirit's going to do work, but it's like, but as long as you get that, we didn't really push a whole lot of change or be transformed by the renewing of your mind. It was just get them to that, say that sinner's prayer. And really Scripture teaches us now, like, you're not just adding me to your life. You have to surrender who you were so I can make you new. Why is that an important distinction? Especially for, I don't know, you younger guys. Like, why is that important?
The senior citizens are on this end of the table.
That's right.
I mean, I feel like I can go. I think I almost view it as like you have like a hand of cards, and your hand is everything in your life that you think is yours, that you're in control of, that you don't want to give up, that you don't want to sacrifice. So it could be my academics, it could be my sports, it could be my cool factor. Like, what am I doing? What am I saying that makes me cool, attractive to friends, to other people? And adding Jesus to your life would be to say, hey, I'm going to keep this hand of cards that I already have, and I'm just going to draw this new card that says Jesus, and it's going to be, the next card in my hand. That would be adding Jesus to your life. Yeah. So how you play your cards might be influenced because you have a Jesus card. So it might have a little influence over the way you play your hand and the way you play the game. Yeah. So maybe I'll speak a little different in my sports. Maybe I'll act a little different because I know there's a truth, but I'm not living on it. The difference with surrendering your life to Jesus is to say, I'm going to lay all these cards down this is my only card in my hand now. It's like the crowns down song we sang.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to lay down every idol in my life, everything that I give value to. Not to say that I'm no longer going to participate in it or I'm no longer going to be active, but who I am is going to change because my love is shifting. And love is that powerful. It's to say, I'm not going to seek affirmation. I'm not going to seek value, and I'm not going to seek, I guess just those things in worldly objects or in worldly achievements. I'm going to say my value is now in Christ, and then that's going to bleed into everything else. So that's like the only card in my playing hand at that time, if that makes sense. I don't know.
So would you say that essentially what you're doing is your identity is changing completely?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah. What is there overall? Is there a reason? Like, what does that look like? What's the difference between adding Jesus to my life, more specifically, say maybe in our culture, than a total surrender? You know, what does my lifestyle look like? What does my decision making look like?
I think it's because, so it's funny because you said your cards in your hand. And like you guys have all seen the memes of like how people worship. So it's like you got people carrying the TV.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got full reckless abandon.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was nuts. I heard a preacher say one time, he was like, "Why do you guys keep bringing Jesus your offering with like your cup? Like imagine if your hands are." I heard it's like this: if your hands are palm up, you can always fill it with other things than Jesus. But if your palms are down, like there's nothing else you can fill it with because you can't fill it with anything. So the only thing that's even giving you energy to be there to begin with is God. And I always thought about that as like, man, so like if I bring an offering, it's almost like when you preach or anything that has to do with like public speaking or singing or something like that, you know, like it's very easy to like get there and like be like, man, I crushed that today. You know, and it's like, you know, something like that. So it's almost like, yeah, you presented your offering, but it's almost like you already had that pocket open to receive the attaboys and like the high fives and stuff like that. And so, and the same thing of like, not just adding, because essentially if all you're doing is adding Jesus to your life, like if you think your life is sweet already and you're supposed to put the sweetest name that you know in your life, it doesn't transform you. It's just like, oh, it's just, you know, it's a cool add-on. It's like you buy a car. Yeah, the car's going to get you from point A to point B. But if all you did was add power steering, it's not really special. And I think like the whole part of surrendering your life is realizing like, man, I got nothing outside of Jesus, understanding that like everything good that we do, once you understand Jesus is your Lord, you understand that there's nothing of yourself that's good aside from him. Like you realize every good and perfect thing comes from him. That means every act of gratitude, every act of surrender, every act of like positivity, encouragement, every fruit of the Spirit only comes from, just like you were saying earlier, Marcus, it comes from the vine. So when we're tapped into that, all of that, like, and until we surrender ourselves and pick up that cross and die and allow Jesus to really take you over and bring you in.
Yeah. I think a practical way to look at it as well in the experience of my life is if you're just adding Jesus to your life, it's almost like when I was growing up, I saw the Jesus thing as hey, I'm going to almost use this Christianity thing as an asset to appeal to this new crowd of people. I'm going to receive joy, not true joy, but I'm going to receive worldly fun by being a Christian at a Christian camp. Like I get these things because I have his card in my hand now. Maybe I'm going to do it because this girl won't like me if I'm not a Christian, right? I'm using Jesus as an asset instead of making him the priority or the sourse, I guess, of the thoughts and the motivations, right?
I got to write that down. We get all the benefits of Jesus without having to live for him if you're not surrendering.
Yep.
Does that make sense? Because if you're, it feels like a used car commercial.
Oh, you're looking for what he can offer rather than realizing what he already has offered.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think the question is Jesus enough, you know, for every one of us? Because I think the reality is, I'm just going to be honest, most people like, we'll say Jesus is enough, or we'll come on Sunday morning, praise his name, but we're like, but he didn't answer my prayer.
Well, if Jesus is enough, you wouldn't need what you think you need.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I mean, if Jesus is enough, why do you need what you think you need?
Yeah, that's true. And I think that's the tension is he the greatest thing in your life? And is he all you want? Like if he is the goal, he's the finish line, which he should be. Is it worth it? Because again, why do a lot of people walk away from the church or faith?
Yeah.
You know, or like we're getting ready in 2 weeks. We're like the question we're going to ask is how could a loving God send people to hell? We're going to address that and give people the tools for that. But again, why are you saying that? Because if I were God, I wouldn't send anybody to hell. And because, there's so many reasons behind that, you know, because it should be about, you know, my life should be about sugar kings, lollipops, and rainbows. And so why are there bad things? You know, why do bad things happen to good people? Again, it's not a great question if you're asking if Jesus is really all that matters. If Jesus is really all that matters, it doesn't really matter what happens to me because all I want is Jesus anyways.
Yeah.
Right? It's all I need anyways.
You just said like so many things that I would want to respond to. So thankfully we're breaking those down in the weeks to come.
Yeah.
Because that was just like 5 different points where it's like, oh, we could talk for an hour about that.
We're going
The marathon podcast.
Dude, the new song, we're doing a new song, Marcus, you know this, but it's called What a God.
Oh, yeah.
And dude, oh my word.
Was that one that we sang already? Or no?
We haven't sang it already.
Oh,
it's
okay.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. And
The bridge is nuts.
that's that's all I could think of when Nate was talking. Because it says, if the highest place I reach is at your feet, then I've done it all. If the best thing that I've seen is your glory, then I've seen it all. Your love has changed my life, forever satisfied. God, you are my everything.
That sounds great. I'm always I can't remember, because C.S. Lewis, it's so funny to me because, you know, there's some people who see him as like a heretic. It's like, what are you talking about? This dude was amazing. Yeah, like there may be some theological differences you have, but at the end of the day, like there's some things that are like drop mic moments for him. But he talks about this idea a lot more times than not about, is he really the guy? You know, is he really the one we want? Or like he says, you know, when I want. I can't remember how this quote goes, but you guys probably say it better, know it better. But it's like, if I realize that if I can get anything that I ever wanted, but realize there's still something I want or need or something like that, I realize I was created for a different place or something. He says that. I can't remember how he said the quote, but the idea is that like we're constantly yearning for something, and nothing can fulfill me. So I must be created for another place. Well, you are. I remember Tom Brady after he won his like second or third Super Bowl, and him basically saying, "I just feel like there's more, or there's something along those lines." And longing for satisfaction. That's right. If I find in myself a desire which no experience in this world, I want to click that because it's gold. Okay, if I find in myself a desire which no experience in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that I was made for another world.
Yeah.
I mean, things like that, or what Tom Brady was saying after the third Super Bowl, and he's still feeling empty. Yeah, you are, because no ring and no championship is going to give you what you desire.
Yeah.
No, you know, I want to be married. You know, if you could just. When you get married, guess what? You're still going to want more, right? Because because my spouse can never fully give me what I truly want and desire. Well, at the end of the day, that is just being at home with my Savior. And I think that's the tension a lot of times that we don't realize. We're always wanting something more, always wanting something else, and that something else really should just be, at the end of the day, Jesus. And I think that's the tension that so many people don't understand. And I don't know if they want to understand it, you know, because again, they would have to sacrifice and give up their fleshly desires. And we all have them. And that's why there's all these questions out there that people have. And I think that like one of the things that Frank Turk would say, he's like, if Christianity were true, would you follow? would you follow Jesus? Mm-hmm. And we're like, well, it is true. No. He's saying like, if Christianity was true as Marcus is sitting right there, like I know Marcus is sitting right there. I see him. I'm listening to him. I can touch him. Like if Christianity is so true that there is no doubt beyond a shadow of a doubt, would I still follow Jesus? And there's so many people it's like, yeah, I don't know. Mm. So it's not truth that you're seeking. It's a feeling.
I also love Cliff Nechtel saying like, when people are like, well, we need proof. And he's like, it's awful convenient you're asking for something you know that we can't produce.
Yeah.
You know, like people, they want proof. And it's like, well, we have evidence. We don't have proof. But we don't have proof for most things we believe.
That's right.
Yeah.
We have reasonable reason why we believe it, but we don't have proof.
Yeah.
We don't have tangible proof. I mean, even video evidence is not really true evidence in our world nowadays.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, if you need proof, there really isn't any true proof in experience.
Yeah.
Because
it's all about the interpretation of the proof that you see.
Yeah. And so it's like, is there reasonable faith?
Yeah,
like,
that's
is
correct.
there reasonable understanding that, hey, this could be real. This could be legit.
Yeah.
And then not only could it be legit, but hey, I actually think there's legitimate reason.
Which is why I hold on to the 12 disciples, well, the 11 disciples. That's why I hold on to Paul. Like, I mean, script, it doesn't lie. Like when you read history and you read about the stories of people in history back then, you had to be somewhat rich or connected to rich people in order to write. And so therefore you can't like erase, and you're not going to write your name. You're not going to write yourself into a story that makes you look bad. That's forever. And yet that's what these men did. Like they I mean, it's what Peter, James, and John did. They were cowards, you know, at the crucifixion of Jesus. They were, it was embarrassing. I mean, they were a middle school girl, you know, showed up Peter. And so it's like, what is happening right now?
Well, then the other gospel accounts not dropping Peter's name, and then John did.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. He shall remain anonymous. It was Peter.
It's so true. And then all of a sudden, you're telling me these 11 men changed the world? Are you kidding me right now? Okay, I bet you $100 that Jesus did rise from the dead. Because to see them go from that to that in a matter of weeks, nah, dog. And there was nothing in it for them. Power, sex, popularity, money, nothing in it for them. And yet they did it anyways, and they all died. All of them died. Maybe John missed out, but he got persecuted like crazy. So you're telling me they all died because maybe, potentially, or they.
I think someone saw it.
Yeah. I think this is true. Nah. They ate breakfast with him at the beach that day.
Yeah.
Like, and their life changed forever. Yeah, I'm in. You can't convince me otherwise. And so, like, yeah, you're right. We don't have proof, but man, we got good evidence.
Yeah.
And I think that's the question. So then I think that marks it down for us, even though we're 2,000 years removed. And we could keep going, I know, because his next part, he talks about this idea he's coming soon. And so, but
no one will take away your crown that we sang crowns
I know,
down.
I thought that was a great song for Sunday.
I was blown away by how the songs just leveled up. I was like, you'd have thought we literally sat in a room for 10 hours and
practice that.
Yeah.
That was so great. And I just think that if you stack this song and you listen to all this, I don't know. I think the question we're going to always have to wrestle with is Jesus enough? Like not like no, he's totally enough, but you know, I just want to make sure we sing these songs and we dress this way and we do this kinds of ministry, and no, then that's Jesus plus whatever you want.
Yeah.
No. Is Jesus enough? Because it doesn't matter at the end of the day, like we joke with Westwood and stuff, but like if he said all of a sudden, he's like, hey, Nate, I want all churches to go to Westwood, you know, and okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Hands down, dog, let's go. I think the differences sometimes are so frustrating that we've let the differences separate us.
Man, yeah.
And because Jesus really is enough. And he should be anyways. And even if I'm frustrated that God didn't answer a prayer or didn't save somebody, or I prayed like crazy and this cancer isn't going away, whatever that is, Jesus is still enough.
Mm-hmm.
And because death is just the next step that I get to take to get to him.
Yeah.
You know, do I want to see my kids graduate? Yeah. If he doesn't return, yeah, absolutely. But I'd love to see my kids get married. Yeah, my wife would. So she had great babies. But yeah, I would want to be there for that. But I can tell you, though, if he gives me an opportunity and he says, man, I want you to come home, I'm going home.
Yeah. This
world is miserable. And Jesus is my goal anyways.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't I go to my goal? So I don't know. I think those are the things that we keep thinking. That's why he says, you know, keep persevering.
Yeah.
Just keep doing that. And so I don't know. I hope that's an encouragement, though.
Yeah.
Not to like, wow, well, I got to drastically change. Well, I think we all do. That's the point of the 7 churches, is to remind us again and again and again and again and again and again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shoot, I need to repent and I need to get back to this. And so next week is fun because it's Laodicea. I think that's the most famous one besides Sardis, you know, to the like church in America. You know, like you look like you're a church, but you're really not. And this one's like, you know, you're like vomit. I don't want you to just be a mediocre dude. Like, it's gross. I want you to be hot or cold.
Yeah.
You know? And so either on fire for me or you're not. You're not, get out of the way or repent, whatever. But, you know, things. So it's going to be fun. Laodicea is fun. And then we're going to jump into these next questions, these tough questions I think people are going to enjoy. And so they can be helpful. So,
yeah.
But,
boom.
Yep. All I can think when you say that is our circumstances don't dictate the goodness of God. It doesn't dictate how good God is and how enough he is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like if I'm praising God in the basement of a prison, or I'm praising God in the comfort of my bedroom, or whatever.
Doesn't matter where you're at,
dude. Honestly, as long as I can do that, I'm good to go.
And it's just a reminder again. That's the 7 churches. One church, he was asking to keep living in this persecution.
Yep.
And another church is like, listen, I know everything is all hunky-dory and it's great all around you. You need to get back. You need to repent. But it didn't say they were going to experience persecution.
Yeah.
So like you just see these 7 churches and they all have different experiences and examples, and one's not better than the other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we shouldn't be looking for persecution, but we should live in a way that if persecution arises, I know I'm living out my faith and how do I do. But even when times are good, I mean, it actually talks about we should want times of peace, you know? And so like, those are all things that we see in these 7 churches, that one's not better than the other, but they all have something that Jesus wants them to walk through. And so some of us will have to walk through intense persecution. That doesn't mean that their faith is better or that they're better. And some of us are going to live in times of peace in a different part of the world. Doesn't mean that God loves them more than the ones going through persecution.
Yeah.
But you do have to be careful in which one you're at, of how you respond. So it's good stuff.
You heard that Bagel Bite theme song? You ever heard it?
Mm-mm.
You remember the Bagel Bite theme song?
I don't know.
I say now, pizza in the morning, pizza.
Oh, yeah.
So it changed it. It says, Jesus in the morning, Jesus in the evening, Jesus at supper time. When Jesus on the table, you can meet Jesus anytime. You're welcome.
You guys don't know that one?
Nope. Oh, boy.
The more you know.
Okay. Well, on that note, everybody,
Nice.
Thank you for making it this far. If you made it this far, you're a real one. Hey, if any of this was beneficial to you or something you want to pass along, do that. You know where to listen because you're listening. So thanks for that. And catch us anywhere you find podcasts. Thanks for helping us disciple everybody one person at a time. Have a blessed one. Thanks for going beyond the road.